welcome to a reading vlog. My mood reading recently has just been off the chart. I am currently in the middle of think about 12 books, which is a mess. Yesterday I got my second COVID booster, which means that I do feel slightly like death. Not as bad as last time, thank goodness, because last time, my last booster, I just knocked out for like 24 hours straight, and that was not good. Today I just feel like slightly under the weather, which just fits the vibe of today. It's kind of rainy, not right now, the sun has just peeked out right now, but it has been raining on and off all day. My goals for this week in terms of my reading, I have quite a few arcs that I need to catch up on that are books that I am very excited about, but I just, for whatever reason, haven't gotten to read yet. Again, mood reading has just been insane recently. Right now I am about 50% of the way through Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Heron Blake. This is the sequel to Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I'm so far absolutely loving it. It is so good, as I expected I would, because I love Delilah Green and I was excited to see Astrid's journey. This follows Astrid Parker, who is like golden child, has to be Little Miss Perfect. Her mother is quite a piece of work and expects the most from her. She recently ended her engagement to this douchebag of a guy, and now she is working to grow her home design business. By doing so, she is currently working on an inn in her town that is currently on the basically HGTV show called Inns of America or something like that, where they're redesigning it, and her and the head carpenter, who's also the granddaughter of the inn owner, have don't quite see eye to eye, but also there is some tension there. So far, I am just loving the two of them and their dynamic. I think the two of them just bring out a certain amount of realness in each other that I really, really love. And their chemistry is already incredible. It's definitely more of a slow burn, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So I am hoping to finish this today. I do have a couple other books that I am trying to get through. I have Kennedy Ryan's newest book, Before I Let Go, I believe it's called. So that one also comes out next week. Does it come out on the 15th? I think it comes out on the 15th, which I think this one does too. I should know this. But yeah, so I want to finish that one before it comes out so I can get my review in. I have a couple more that I was sent that I'm going to try and get to. I think the one that's coming out the soonest, it comes out in December, is Sophie Gonzalez's newest book, Never Get You Back, something like that. Involves a dating show. I believe it's YA, so I'm gonna try and get to that as well. That is my goal for this week. I'm not gonna be too ambitious because I have been in a reading slump for anything that isn't an audiobook. Even my audiobooks, I've been in a bit of a reading slump. But currently on audio, I am listening to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which is a bit of a classic. It was recommended to me by a family friend. She was just like, this is a book that I love. And I went, okay, sure, let's read it. So that is what I'm currently listening to. It's really good. It's really different than what I normally read. It's definitely of its time. There's certain things and I'm like, that would be a bit problematic now. It is really interesting, just the family dynamic and looking at the different generations of families there, and it's all about immigrants in Brooklyn, and I want to say it's sometime in the earlier 1900s. Yeah, so it's really interesting, definitely different. If I have time this week, I am also going to pick up The Unlikely Thru Hiker. which my brother lent to me because he is trying to convince me to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Or he said either the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail. I've heard it both ways, and I still cannot figure out which one is the right one. I think it's Appalachian. Anyway, he really wants me to hike those. And there's part of me that's like, let's do it, challenge accepted. And there's other part of me that's like, what? That would literally take months, and the longest backpacking trip I've been on is 3 days. But also really tempting. Anyway, so I'm gonna read this and see what it's all about, because it follows a guy who has never... Oh, it's signed. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I think he's like never hiked before. Yeah, he's never hiked before, period. And then he went on the AT. So, you know, if he can do it, why not me? Anyway, those are my reading plans for the week. We'll see what actually happens. I'm very tired today, so I'm hoping that I can just stay cozied up and read. I really need to get through these books, so let's do this thing. Okay, I just need to shout out this one moment in Astrid Parker because it's super fun. Basically, Astrid is borrowing books from a friend, and all of them are queer. I think all of them feature like bisexual main characters, which I love. And so they describe the books by like their cover, and I know what books they're talking about, and I've read several of them. It's so fun. So the first one is a blue cover with a blonde and a redhead in front of the Space Needle, so clearly written in the stars by Alexandria Belfler. Then it goes to one featuring 2 Dominican women, which I'm pretty sure is, it's either called Mangoes and Mistletoe and Mangoes. Can't remember the order of the words, by Adriana Herrera. I'm like 90% sure that's what that one is. Another with a male Jewish rabbi and bisexual white women, clearly intimacy experiment. And the last one is one with a white female and a white non-binary pairing that was all about a baking competition. I'm pretty sure it's Love and Other Disasters. It could also be Chef's Kiss, but I don't think that's a baking competition. I think they're just cooking. But could it be? No. Is it the Alexis Hall one? I can't remember if it's like Rosianna something. It's a pink cover. Is her love interest non-binary? I genuinely can't remember, actually. Okay, I'm a little bit stumped with that one, so please tell me which one of these books you think it is. I'm going with Love and Other Disasters. That's what I'm going with. But that's so cool. I love the little shout out to her fellow authors, her fellow romance authors. Way to go, Ashley Herring-Blank. I love that. Anyway, I'm really loving this book. It's so cute. Yeah, and same reason why I loved Delilah Green Doesn't Care is just the dealing with sense of self along with the relationship part that I think is really great. Anyway, I'm definitely gonna finish this tonight, so stay tuned. Also, it's nice and rainy out, and I'm loving the vibes. I'm feeling only slightly better right now. So, hopefully, Booster just works its way through my system. Hi, so I have officially finished Astrid Parker Does Not Fail. I really enjoyed it. I can't decide. I think I liked it more than Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Just the overall character development was a little bit more just a little bit more for me. It's the most descriptive term I could come up with. I really like just appreciated Astrid and Jordan's relationship, and that like for the two of them it wasn't about a lot of like miscommunication. There was a little bit of self-sabotage. I fully believe Astrid should go to therapy after all of this. I think that's just the theme of a lot of books that I've been reading recently is I'm like, I think they would benefit from therapy. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I also feel a lot less like death right now, which is incredible news. So I think I got over my booster haze, which is lovely. I am thinking I'm going to pick up Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan next, because I do need to get that read before next week. We are going to be holding an event for her at the store that I work at. It's going to be her and Anna Todd, which is just incredible. I love that so much. Can't wait to meet both of them. So I'm definitely picking that up next. I don't think I'm going to pick it up tonight because I'm probably going to go to sleep within the next hour. So I think I'm actually going to pick up The Unlikely Thru Hiker. I know, what a weird book to transition between, but you know what? I'm excited to read all about the Appalachian Trail. I followed these TikTokers. I think it was back in 2020. No, in 2021. It was a bunch of early 20, basically college students on the Appalachian Trail on TikTok. And it just was absolute chaos. And I loved it. And I was like, that would be me. So yeah, I'm gonna try and read a little bit in this. It's not super long. It's only 200 pages. And I'm interested to see what Derek Lugo has to say about never hiking and then doing a months long through hike. Short. Good morning. It is currently way too early, but we are doing a photo shoot at the bookstore today for some of the new merch. So I have to go into LA and be there by 8 a.m. So here we are. I volunteered to do this. So this was my own choice. This was my own doing. But oh my god, I'm not a morning person. That is for sure. Reading wise, what was that, 2 nights ago? So Tuesday night, I did get about halfway through The Unlikely Thru Hiker. I'm really liking it so far. I think it's really interesting the way it discusses community on trails, and especially for someone what's his name, Derek Lugo, who has never really hiked before, except he's done some European hiking, which American and European hiking are two very different things. But it's really interesting the way it talks about community and how there's people from all over the world who come to do this particular hike, and basically give up their lives for 5 to 6 months, almost half a year, just to do this hike. But for most of them, it doesn't feel like giving anything up. This is living their lives. It's really cool. It's really interesting. So many things where he's I did not think to do this one thing. And from the comfort of my room, I'm ugh, how could you not think to do that thing? But knowing me, if I was out on the trail, I would do the same thing. Same mistakes. It'd be great. But yeah, it's also just really cool to see how willing everyone is to help him. I mean, obviously he does encounter some hassles on the trail. It's bound to happen. But people are very willing to help him. Even the towns around the AT, there's people there to help hikers, and I just think that that's really cool. Will I ever do it? I don't know. Again, 5 months is a really long time. Also, bears. I feel like if there weren't bears, I'd be fine. It's the idea of maybe running into a bear that scares me. I did also get a little bit further into my audiobook of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting classic. I did look things up because I realized I was like, when was this written? What time period does it take place in? It takes place in around the turn of the century, early 1900s. Yeah, I think it's really interesting reading these kinds of books that are like slices of life. They're very just like, I was reading a Goodreads review about it, and someone was like, why did we have to know exactly why did we have to know that they went and bought a pickle, and how they bought pickles, and why they, walked to the store, and the exact like way they had to like buy things. And like, I think that it's really interesting seeing how different traditions grew and developed, and like, again, it's another book very much about community, and the community that these kids grew up in. They are even like one of the first second generation kids on this block. It definitely reminds me in some ways, there's some parts that remind me of the poem The Women of Long Island. If you have a chance, I'll like try and link it down below or to the side. It's an incredible poem, but it like reminds me of like that sort of sense of community, especially since the story really does revolve around the women. Like, the men are there, but it's about the women. And then yesterday I did start Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I'm only about like 10% of the way through. Just got started, but I'm really liking it. I believe it's a second chance romance. It's about a couple who got married, had kids, got divorced. They're gonna get back together though. We all know what's gonna happen. And I'm just really interested. There's definitely like some trauma that happened that I'm sure we're gonna find out about, and I'm probably gonna cry because it's a Kennedy Ryan book, and that is just what happens. I've accepted that for all of her books. Yeah, so that's the reading. I have to finish getting ready and then go sit in LA traffic, so let's go. Good morning. I am headed off to work, but I did want to check in just a little bit. I didn't get too much more reading done yesterday. It was a busy day at the store, despite what people think. You don't actually get to read that much when you're working at a bookstore. You tend to just be doing a lot more things, restocking shelves, talking to customers, do other random things that the store needs. So I didn't get much reading done, and then I was just so exhausted when I got home that I like knocked out. So I only got like 10% of the way further into Kennedy Ryan's book. I'm really liking it so far. I can already tell like there's gonna be a lot of pining. There is gonna be a lot of miscommunication, which is fine. I have a feeling a lot of it is just going to be me being like, please talk to each other. Please just talk to each other. I'm begging you. I will say, I did just get approved for the arc of Emily Henry's newest book, Happy Place. And it is taking everything in my willpower not to just start reading that. I have so many other books that I need to read before I can get to it, because like, it doesn't come out for a while. I'll probably read it pretty soon though. If not this vlog, then the next one. So stay tuned for that. I'm so excited. But I'm gonna head to work. I'm probably gonna listen a little bit more to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn on my way to work. Yeah, and I will take you along with me.
Really comes up in my window at night.
happened since I last checked in. I finished 3 books and I haven't updated at all, and I did not upload this when I meant to. Whoops. And now I am in the midst of Vlogmas. What? Catherine doing Vlogmas? You're crazy. Can't even upload this video on time. Yeah, so this is an unplanned upload in the midst of Vlogmas. I'll just stick it in wherever, I don't know, we'll see. But let's talk about the books that I finished, because I'm actually very excited. So first of all, the audiobook that I had been listening to was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I really enjoyed it. It's not the kind of book that I normally pick up or am naturally drawn to. I do really enjoy those like slice of life type books. It's a coming of age story, but it's like also a lot more than that. Like I said, I just really enjoyed like the discussion of community and family and seeing all these characters, even the ones in the background, like grow, and seeing the world around Francie grow as well. It was so fascinating, especially as we like got into World War I, which is intense always. It left you definitely being like, what's next for Francie? What's going to happen to her for the rest of her life? It was, however, just a very satisfying ending, and I really enjoyed it. Next, this was the vlog of books that I don't normally pick up, and that was The Unlikely Thru Hiker. I also ended up really enjoying this. It was fun going out of my comfort zone of what books that I was reading. And I feel like it did kind of help me like get through that reading slump that I was kind of going through. Just mixing things up, seeing what else is out there. Do I think I'll become a memoir girly? No. Not really. This one was just, it was very short. And very like good storytelling, very good like clear timelines start to finish. I feel like a lot of the times in memoirs, it's like, oh, it's about this person's life, and it can feel very unfocused. This one, it had a clear path, and that path was the AT. So like, obviously, I again really liked the like discussion around community, and then of course like he is a Black man who has like never hiked before really, and so his discussion of like kind of race in backpacking culture, it really like drew you in, and it made me definitely go like, oh god, what is gonna happen next? What are you going to do? And like clearly, like, you know, he finishes it, because otherwise why would he write this? But there were so many times where you're like, oh my god, are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be fine? Really just enjoyed like the storytelling of this. I think he is definitely a very natural storyteller. Last but certainly not least, this book, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I knew going into this that I would just love it because it's Kennedy Ryan, and I don't think I've like actively disliked anything I've read from her. This is no exception because it was just so good. It had me crying and just feeling so many things, and I just like it really had me rooting for this couple who had like drifted apart and like had lost each other and lost themselves, but you clearly could see the care that they had for each other. And it was so heartbreaking at times because you're like, I know like you two need to be together, and everyone around them can see it too. Everyone around them is like, it's gonna happen. You guys you're gonna end up back together. There were just so many beautiful moments, and there was definitely like parts where I'm like reading it on my lunch break at work, just like tearing up. I'm like, I cannot cry right here. Yeah, I also I got to meet Kennedy Ryan because she came to our bookstore, and y'all, she's so sweet and so kind. I like didn't even know what to say to her. I was gonna play it real chill because, you know, I was working, so I'm gonna be professional. And then one of my coworkers was like, she loves you, you're her favorite author, and I'm just like, oh my god. She's like, thank you so much. I was like, I really love your book. Your book's really good. I really appreciate it. so incoherent. But it was great. She was very, very lovely. And I doubt she'll see this, but Kennedy Ryan, you the real MVP. Thank you for not thinking I'm crazy. And she signed it. She did sign it. And it says, be gentle with yourself, which is the theme of the book. All right, so those are all the books that I'm going to be talking about in this reading vlog. Like I said, this is going to be uploaded randomly at some point during Vlogmas. So go ahead, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, or maybe better reading vlogs, I don't know. I'm really out of practice. Go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on that little bell icon so you get notified every single time I put, I don't know what's happening with my hair. I keep on trimming it myself, which is a problem. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, bye.